Hey there, welcome to Carcassonne. It's the Champions League bronze match between Sportr and Pakshe, both with pretty good seasons. So for one, they are currently residing in 12th and 13th place in the GG Elo ranking. Let's take a quick look at Pakshe. Was able to win every match this season, but then the Finnish master Nalaheim got the better of him in the semifinals just a few days ago. And then there's, of course, Sportr, who also had a great season. He had to play qualification, lost in the final, but then was able to win the losers bracket in the league stage. He only lost versus UI Scooty and then managed to dispatch Lord Terryclough, last year's a round of 16 player, and in the quarterfinals, the current world champion Zhang Yujin from China. In the semifinals, he lost quite surprisingly versus FNG, and now we're here in the bronze match. And of course, I'm running late. Let's check whether they have already started, and they did. So I spare you the details about their ELO ratings. It doesn't matter anyway. In the end, whatever, currently residing in the 600s, who cares? It's the best of 5, two pretty strong players. I think Ricardo even won the MSO back then, if I remember correctly. Let me quickly check, or I talk more nonsense, rather. Yes, looks like it. Back in 2020. Oh, long time ago, but nonetheless. Yeah. Okay, so there's something there. Let's refresh. Okay, hey Vika, hey Natpira. By the way, I'm alone, so if anyone would like to come on stream and co-host, let me know, even during the stream. And because that's the case, let me paste this in the chat as well. Because as you might be able to hear, I'm still not healthy. So it would help tremendously not to have to talk through the whole stream. Hey Kaika. Else, I might just try to restrict myself a bit, but we'll see. Okay. So what are we having here? We have this stuff in the middle. Now the threat of yellow trying to attack the city from both sides did not manifest. Instead, Pakshe threatens to take this over. And as he'd rather not like the restriction to the quad, I'd say he will restrict this down to the 2 horses, but then at least he has a 75% shot at taking this city down. It's not ideal, but in the end, that might be the sacrifice he has to take. The problem for him is he quite likely would rather use the cap next to his monastery, else this square here might get restricted later. Yeah. Thanks, Vikas. Thanks, Kaika. I know if you could, you'd be already here. Yeah, so difficult decision for Pakshe right now, but okay, he risks the restriction. Sportr, of course, does not add a meeple yet. This stuff is still open, so even if the quad drops in blue's lap, Sportr could still re-attack the city, or if he chooses to do so, might take this side later once his meeple situation, let's say, improves. Let's say once this city here with the entangled road is solved, because right now this square is pretty iffy. Basically, he rather has to wait to continue the road and later go for the city. So for example, right now, I'd rather pad the city on the left side. Pakshe's road in the middle was already vulnerable, so he only thought a few seconds whether to attack the city here and implicate this square even more than it already was, but in the end he pulled the trigger. Did not work out that great for him because there are only 2 tiles to connect now after Sportr got the penultimate road Dorito. So for now it does not look great for the tie, even though he is currently ahead and has a very nice monastery setup here. But in the long term, the meeple situation of blue over here, this one, could become pretty problematic. For now, he indirectly continues the road, and that is the way to go in this case. Because if he had used the curve like this, then a restriction from the top with any triple city or Dorito would quite likely be incoming. Therefore, indirect approach gives him 2 options, and that is, of course, closing the road whenever he happens to draw one of the 2 remaining crossroads, or continue with the curve in some cases, maybe even with the dagger, although with the dagger run in this restriction then, so he quite likely would use it elsewhere. As is the case in this game, he got the dagger and just started a new city on the left side, also restricting expansion potential of yellow's city part there. So now he supplies the road and only needs a curve to at least get this meeple back. Prime tile for yellow, ideal one. Closing the city, getting this meeple, supplying the road, and that's just perfect. And once he closes the road, he might even take the field, even though it's only sitting at 6 points. Even thinks about it now, but yeah, he doesn't pull the trigger yet, and he doesn't need to. So the road is now down to the 1 remaining dagger, and this situation here is worse than before. There's the threat from the top to kill this. There's only the rotary to left after Pakshe used the horse there. So then might even be a questionable move, because he could have, of course, connected here. But in that case, on the other side with the meeple disadvantage, there are still options to attack the city, close it on the left side and take it over. He did refrain from that option because he just would like to get the rotary to, and if not, well, then just sucks it up and suffers this mini battle loss for the, I don't know, 4 points, maybe even a tad more in the end. We'll see. Nice move by yellow, sacrificing the vanilla, taking away the monastery spot and restricting the monastery to the one and only remaining vanilla. So nice board vision by yellow, acknowledging that there's only one left. And yeah, blue still with the lead, but I'd still prefer yellow in this situation. This might change though once the quad hits or the dagger, because the dagger does not just close the road, it would also allow blue to snatch a pretty juicy city. So we'll see. Okay, so Pakshe with only 2 meeples in hand and really not a great shot except for this one to get a meeple back. Just dumps the monastery there, taking away the best monastery spot currently, even though the square was not built yet. Now it is, and well, the question for yellow is, what do you do now? He has the meeples, but he still has to score. So this is a prime tile to take a field, and this here would be the prime field. And that's exactly why he went for it. Even if blue manages to get the remaining vanilla, at least they'd supply a city to yellow's field, and of course, yellow still has these 2 open caps, and there are still multiple in the deck to score these 7-pointers there. But they quite likely will need to some time address the threat, the big elephant in the room, which is the big city by Pakshe, which is still closable, quite likely not with Doritos anymore, because there are only these 2 available, and of course could substitute a splitter there as well. But currently it looks a tad more likely that caps would be used there. We'll see about that though. So last vanilla for yellow, therefore this square, and the monastery is dead. Blue restricted this road down the 1 remaining rose. Definitely critical for yellow, because either they'd score the 2 extra points or snatch this field here, which currently opened up to the top. But by now, with this monastery, with this field, the road, yellow has closed the gap significantly. And therefore, Pakshe does not use the monastery as many folks would with the monk, but use it to snatch this field and prevents yellow from using a farmer once they close their road here, if they close the road. So at some point we might even see yellow going for this field on the left side, taking at least a 6-pointer, and maybe hoping then to take over a shared, currently 9-point field later on. We'll see. For now, they take 2 points in the only spot possible. It's not that great, because this reduces the chances to close this city here. but on the other hand, depending on when the rose hits, they might even use it here, because that would score more than closing the road, and maybe they won't need the meeples anymore at that time. Yeah, but not yet. I think with 19 tiles to go, these 3 points in comparison to 5, or rather 4, because the 1 point from the city could be still taken away by blue. Okay, that's 7. I don't know. It's tricky, definitely. I mean, this one, 3 points for yellow, but also another city on blue's field, so effectively a 0-point move, but you get the meeple back. But with only 10 moves left, 3 meeples, that's more than you need in most cases. So this here, I think, was the right choice. So now blue was able to close the road finally. Yellow kills this, takes the 6-point field. And now both are down to 1 meeple. But blue has a slight lead of 3 points. Blue still has the option to close that city with double caps, or still Doritos. So whatever happens to be drawn by them will be used. So it's the dagger, and it's about time for yellow to do something about it. Problem is they only could use this cap here now, and might need to meeple it, because else blue would not only run away with the city. I mean, doesn't matter. If blue closes that city, it's game over anyway. Yes. Hey, Otto. One thing Otto mentions is this one with the rose. Yellow could have killed the city, because that was the last city cap with a straight piece. Though the question is, at -8, I think, or -9 maybe, can you afford the luxury of not drawing the 7 points? And I don't think so, because this restriction was already in place. There's no great spot for the remaining splitter. There was no great spot for the remaining splitter. Maybe this one. Yeah, this one would work, but it's not great. I mean, stuff like that is definitely better. So if yellow had not jumped on this chance, I'm not sure they would have gotten better options to score a lot more points to cut the difference here on the virtual scoreboard. So it's tricky. And for Pakshe, the question is, do you just go here? Take care that yellow will have a tricky time getting a meeple back and leaving you 1 tile for victory, and also a tight score for now. Yellow might still get the monastery meeple back though, with the curve and something else. So it's not easy. But if he doesn't go there now, then there are a few tiles to restrict this pretty severely. Even killing blows available, and worse, so connection options. There are still 2 extenders in the deck, so I think in the end, this should be the move. Yeah, I think Rika is right. The one thing I started to say is if they don't meeple the cap, then blue gets this opportunity here to snatch a 6, maybe 8-pointer, I don't know. No, 6-pointer, all shielded Doritos are gone. And then I stopped myself from talking because that does not matter. If blue closes the city, they just win. So therefore, Rika is correct. There was no need to meeple that cap there. And this is also an interesting idea by Pakshe. I'm not sure I like it though, because there are still tiles that don't allow him to do anything about this situation, whereas this option would have kept yellow away from the city for good and kept this meeple on its city with only 2 caps left. So basically more or less unretrievable. But it seems to work out fine by Pakshe drawing both extenders. Now there is still a cow left. And that cow would be enough for yellow to take the lead here. And there are still 2 tiles to get a meeple back as well, but that won't be enough. They only have 1 move left after retrieving the meeple, so they need to get the cow, and there is nothing that blue can do about it. Oh yes, and Otto is right as well. So there were still the extenders, and there were still 1 Dorito each and the splitter. So yes, yellow had to meeple the cap. So thanks both of you for chiming in. Yeah, not sure what yellow is thinking about. Quite likely whether they need to place the splitter here to take away options from blue. But there is nothing that blue can do. There's nothing to fit here anymore. This square is dead. So it's only a question for them whether they might be able to still add the twin caps to their field, and there's no way. And there is the cow. And now Sportr took the lead by 2 points, but 2 points reduced to 1, and that's enough to win this game. So yep, still maintain this here was the move by Pakshe, and I think he should have gone for this one. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Of course, I won't ever be, not with, what was it, 12 tiles remaining or something. But I'm pretty convinced that this would have improved Blue's winning possibilities. So the first one of this best of 5 match goes to Sportr, and in great fashion. This last minute city equalization, just in time, happened to draw the dagger The dagger. Yes, dagger. Oh man. Yeah, more or less forced and default moves so far. Not even a question to attack this instead of taking the currently more valuable road, but I mean that gets blocked so easily, so you'd rather try to take the city and hope to win the flip for the straight and take over this 8-point loop. Also just in time, drawing the cow here, taking away easy options from blue to close the 8-point city. And now where do you go with the monastery? Over here? Not really, not with this square, with the road city. It's not that great. This one with the city next to it, also quite annoying, but well, it's a monastery. It's the early goings. You still have 4 meeples in hand, so you'd rather meeple it than just take 2 points and try to prevent the road connection by yellow. So in the end, he opts for the, in many cases, least problematic route, but many cases are not all. Of course, there are curvies available, and now he happens to get the straight, which he'd rather use here. Take over this loop as mentioned before, but would also work to protect this. On the other hand, this protection might backfire, because then it's easy to kill monastery and city. If he doesn't go there, even a curve would still leave 3 daggers. Let's see. So he takes the road, basically freezing these 3 meeples until he manages to get something there, and I'm not even sure yellow will connect the road now. It could immediately go for this one, and it would have worked out quite nicely for them, as blue not have been able to defend. Yeah. Situation solved for now, but now the next one. Nah, come on. I think this more aggressive approach would have been definitely more interesting, but is it the better move? I don't know. My gut says yes, but we'll see. I mean, there are still lots of caps or other city plus road tiles available, so just equalizing this is less volatile. But yeah, let's see. This one, I don't know. Sure, he doesn't take this from the left, as then triple cities would be pretty devastating, would lead to a block. But allowing your opponent to restrict your monastery to a sinister hamster, so the remaining road monastery, I don't know. It's not that great either. Yeah, 1 rows, 2nd rows, 2 starting tiles, restriction to starting tile and rows available for yellow. Doing a Pindertron here, so claiming the road, leaving the cap without a meeple, of course, because they don't need to meeple the cap. Blue is unlikely to take it as long as there are still 3 caps to close that city. So it will stay there until yellow will get a cap, unless very specific situations might occur. So there's the last rows, but in a position which I don't fancy that much. This cap is triple city, Dorito, and it's a ruin. I mean, a ruin worth some points, and with this situation here, it's not a huge problem for yellow. Losing 1 meeple. Speaking about losing 1 meeple, blue sacrifices their city, just bites the bullet, scores these 4 points. Yeah, and why not? In the end, 4 points for you equals less points for your opponent because they'd score these 4 with the next cap. No. Second next. So actually, then blue could have still waited a tad longer, especially with this situation here, because this option for yellow to kill the square basically also kills all hopes for blue of this evil hamster. So I don't think it was necessary at this point in time. It is an okay decision later, definitely. So yellow claims the rose city, blue goes for the road. I will protect it. And 1 starting tile in yellow's hands. The blue's choice is at least validated by the facts later on. Blue's choice to go for the city. So I would have liked blue's move more if there hadn't been this open city cap by yellow, which again was under pressure, and if there hadn't been a sinister hamster available. Because if it's only the question whether to wait for the remaining starting tiles to score d6 and get the meeple back on a field that has a bit potential, yeah, maybe a lot potential once this here happens and this gets closed, might change the equation, but nonetheless, waiting costs you tempo. Leaving this open would have cost at least some points. So it's not that great, and I think there wasn't even a good option to start a new city, so yeah, it looks like it. And then I totally get just taking the points. So yellow successfully attacked this city. Blue tried to prevent that connection or re-attack. It did not work. And now, well, there's the 9-pointer available. So what else is there? Placing the monastery somewhere else does not make sense at all. Trying to restrict the city with the monastery, I mean, it helps a bit, but not that much, so there's nothing else. Then transferring monks. Interesting decision for yellow now. What to do with twin caps when there is no good field available? Do you take this one? And they opt to do. Yeah, now this restriction here works way better. Would limit the city, the two remaining road Doritos, and the horse. Now I get what Otto was talking about earlier. This row's positioning, which could have been used here and should have been used there. Quite likely. Because in that case, there would have been no way to kill Blue's monastery on the right side. And yeah, sure, the city would be attackable, but definitely a better approach for Blue. Yeah, again, not that I would see all this stuff, but I think I'm still too hazy. Hazy the right word even? I don't know. Yes, it works. Woozy would be better, maybe. So Blue with an 8-pointer up top, shiny shielded extender. Sadly, though, on a yellow's field. City. Well, speaking of cities, Blue tried to restrict this, but yellow defended and was even able to meeple that cap here. And not just defend this city, but also take 8 points. That's the problem of being down meeples. And the question then is, was it okay to leave this empty? I think so. I mean, with only the 2 daggers remaining to create this exact situation, it was quite unlikely. For yellow to go there. Quickly check. Make sense of this. Yeah, okay, it was totally fine. This curve came exactly after Blue's move. So Blue went here, yellow there. Blue wasn't able to do something, and then yellow got these in successive moves. So basically a perfect windfall for yellow. And if they get one of these 2 remaining road Doritos, I don't see Blue coming back in this game. Yellow, in the meantime, secured this field, which currently scores exactly 0 points. But there's this city. There's the option to open up this field. And Pakshe has to go there, of course. And then The city on the bottom right would be on yellow's field. The unification would be possible if necessary. And now you just close this one and for sure we'll take the road. Else you just supply blue with a chance to come back. Yeah, Otto's right as well. It's not necessary to go there. But I think this is just yellow playing a bit cautious here. Just taking away options from Pakshe to later close the road and meeple the field at the same time. And it might very well be a 9-point field by then. Although, if it were a 9-point field, that would mean that a specific situation had to occur, and that is yellow drawing this Dorito, meepling the road, not the field, which they could have also done, and then on the next move, blue drawing straight. So now it's 20 points for yellow. Yeah, blue needs the city, preferably, of course, with the Dorito, which would give them at least an option to attack this road. I mean, they might not even use the horse there, although they just need to get the city, so they might not have another option. There are no city plus road caps left, so any road from the left or right would immediately reduce that city to not much. But I can stop blathering because there's only the road to read left. And we'll just take the 3 points, pressure this one. There's nothing to defend here. There's only indirect defenses available, but at least that one works. So 1 tile to kill the city, 1 tile to close it. And still no luck for Pakshe, not drawing any straight. And he needs it ASAP, else there won't be no way later to come back into this game. Basically what he needs is actually the Dorito first to claim the field, which yellow now does. No, don't. Okay. They could have, just to play it extra safe. I mean, I don't see a lot of other options. Yeah, yellow took this away, basically nixing field Doritos here, so removing quick point options from Pakshe. But at minus 20 something, the tie of course has to go for stuff like that, hoping to immediately draw one of the vanillas, or the twin caps are still remaining. Sure, hoping that his opponent doesn't get a straight to immediately kill this. So yellow takes the monastery, also unites on this field on the right side with their field on the top, or expands their field by these 2 cities. More or less takes away the chance from Pakshe to do anything about the fields, as it looks like. Well, maybe he finally gets these back and could mount an attack, but even that one and maybe something over here I think he just don't has the moves. He doesn't has oh man, he doesn't have the moves left to do something about the field. So at minus 32, closing this one, closing that one, even if there's just not enough runway left for Pakshe to win this game. And finally, a straight for Pakshe, minus 23. Yeah, let's take a closer look then. So he has this 7-pointer. If closed, additional 9 points for him. Damn. But yellow takes the field beforehand, so these 9 points are countered by 3 points for this farmer and 3 points for that one. So it's game over. Else he at least would have a few points more. But even then, this would not save the day. Yeah, just too little too late, and a very, very crucial, wrongly executed rose, I think. Now let's take a look. When was this rose? 37. Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, Otto's right. Go for this. Create the evil hamster. Even if your opponent gets the monastery, sure, they have had better shot than you because they were the starting player and they are the one that's drawing next. But at least you'd get your meeple back. And if not, well, it's a high impact tile for you. Anyway, it's 10 points for you, 8 points for your opponent. And this meeple here. So yeah, sure, this is the place to go. No question. Not sure what I did when Pakshe added the rows on the left side. I don't know. Yeah, one thing I did not mention is that this is actually the second time in consecutive years that Pakshe is fighting for the CCL bronze. Last year he lost in the semifinals against Alexei. And went on to get 4th place. So looks like he'll repeat that feat. I mean, it's not great to lose out 2 chances, but reaching the semis in the CCL in consecutive years, there are not a lot of folks that have that feat on their resume. So basically only Alexei and Vladimir, I think, because I remember correctly, Vladimir won 2 years ago and, well, reached the finals last year. Check. Yeah. I mean, Alexei reached the semifinals each and every year. No, this year not. Yeah, so only 3 folks having reached at least 2 semis, or exactly 2 semis, and all them in consecutive years. So Sportr with 2 monasteries, a nice road, but Pakshe, on the other hand, has a nice city here, although that is under fire now. And the threat worked for yellow, increasing their position by quite a lot, improving their position by quite a lot. Not increasing anything for now, but taking away blue's biggest threat from the board. And that is great news for yellow. Now they only need a straight here in the middle, another monastery, maybe something over here to take care of that iffy square. And then it could be rather smooth sailing from here on out. Let's see. So Pakshe takes away this monastery spot, as both road monasteries are already on the board. Doesn't care about this meeple for now, because there are still all 3 daggers available. So any restriction would at least give him that. And to me, this seems fine. It also gives him more time to close that, as yellow, as they should, did use the curve there. So totally respect blue's decision to go here and not go for any wonky city protection. Also, this sets up stuff to later restrict this square once yellow happens to draw anything to go here. Wisely using a straight from Pakshe, restricting this square to the straight, which yellow already needs here, and there are only 4 left, so that is basically same situation as in the last match. Yeah, Otto is criticizing this, and rightfully so. This one here would have been way safer for both this meeple and the one on the top city, even though it's annoying to have to, in some cases, unite these cities, as of course they score more points if you are able to close both. In many cases, at least. Just talking nonsense today, sorry folks. This is not the way to go about it, leaving the option to go there, and especially not leaving the option to go here to threaten both cities. Yeah, so again, another early move by Pakshe, more or less deteriorating his position or risking features of his which he had no reason to risk at this point in time, and forcing at least some concessions, and the implications are pretty severe. At least he manages now to connect his side, his city, to yellow city part here, and there is no way about it. He has to. He's down 12 points. He has to create this huge city and hope, for example, to get a splitter later to take this one over. That is, as of now, his best chance to score a lot of points later on. There are also still all extenders in the deck, so we could use this option to, for one, kill this monastery and attack the city at the same time. Also, at least one cow left, so 4 tiles to connect here. It's, of course, not the ideal approach, as there are also options to kill this. But with the added benefit of killing the monastery, I think he might go for it. But yellow takes that away, protects their monastery as they should. Blue jumps on the first chance, try and go for the city, and I think yellow will play the cautious move, just protect this. To basically take away almost all options to still attack the city. Sure, there are still options, but with 2 horses gone, it's pretty tough. We could construct stuff like this, foregoing the horses, hoping to get a rotary toe, but I mean, there are also only 2 rotary toes left, so. And it's wonky at best, because quite likely yellow would get something in this square to just block the possible attack. Bottom line, even though blue was able to reduce the deficit, it looks way better for yellow here, and just need the straight to consolidate their position. Preferably, of course, 2 out of the 3 left, but 1 for now to finally get this meeple back. Be a pretty healthy shot in the arm. Yeah, I mean, blue tries to squeeze out points wherever they can, not going for this square, as they want to close that city first, but then this here will get restricted. Currently, all options except for the road monasteries are still available, so any restriction would only reduce the options for the square down to, at worst, 2 tiles, I guess. Nonetheless, not ideal. So Pakshe needs caps to get meeples back. Yeah, Sportr quite likely will protect this monastery, and the question is, do you go for this one, having 2 monasteries, or for this one, having 3 vanillas? He opts for the monasteries, as he'd rather use vanillas elsewhere, it seems. So will we see this? Doesn't opt for it. I would have liked it. Again, blue already needs caps. So forcing this decision on them, whether to use caps for this city, 2 would be needed, or for this one to get a meeple back ASAP, would have been definitely an interesting choice later on. But this here, of course, opens up more options to restrict that city. And at least in the short term, it works. Yellow, blue finally gets a cap. There aren't a lot of curves left. Blue still goes for the road. So yellow might just equalize this, else they'd leave 2 daggers to close that city. And this here would keep these meeples in check. He opts try for a more threatening restriction, or the kill of the horse, but the horse was just drawn by blue. No need to meeple this road, of course, especially not with only 1 meeple in hand. Yellow needs straights elsewhere anyway, so having a good use for them or 4 quick points is definitely a good option for blue to have. So yellow put pressure on blue's monastery and city, but blue immediately got the vanilla to close that one. Works out nicely for them. Yellow closes their city, takes the field. Oh, yes, why not? I mean, 2 cities at least. Also this year restricted further building options for the city as well on the left side. Another straight for Pakshe, so 3 in a row, only 1 left for yellow. Risky business with 2 out of 9 tiles being the Doritos here. On the other hand, that gives them a shot at killing the city this way as well. But the problem is they are down. So I'm not sure that works for them. You might take this road and meeple the field for 5 points. This here would score 6 though, so it's the left. Plus 14. Yeah, yellow has to close the city, meeple the field, but easier said than done without a meeple in hand. And in that case, I think closing that city was too early. I mean, sure, it scores 5 points for them, but 3 points for blue, so net 2, whereas this one would have added 6 points to them, 3 for the city, 3 for the field, and would have given them the option to later claim this and attack this field with the one remaining curve, which of this score I think was necessary to have a shot at still winning this game. +8 for Pakshe. Maybe just taking this road to take away this option from yellow. Although no, yellow has a better option for the straight anyway. But is there a better option for Pakshe? He still has a move left. Taking this one for 3 points does not really work. So I mean, he's at +8, right? He could do anything he wants. So in the end, I guess he'll just take 2 points somewhere. Could go for this, which is what Otto suggests. And it would not have worked. So yellow misses on all the straights. 4 were available. That is definitely a huge reason why they lose this game. Okay, I take a quick break. See you in 2 minutes. Yeah, just read Otto's comment. He is spot on. Yeah. Thanks for chiming in, Otto. See you. Yeah, interesting development up here, where Sportr started a new city this way. Not going for the parallel approach, hoping to draw the retro or triple city before his opponent gets anything to divert the city to the right or close it. Instead, quite likely trying to restrict this. Pakshe opts to turn this burrito to the left, so city is protected, can't be attacked immediately. But of course, this leads down a path where yellow gets something to close or extend their city and then restrict the one by blue. And that is exactly what happened here now. Not a problem yet. I mean, there are still 3 daggers left, but might become a problem if these daggers don't hit. I mean, at least it's not a restriction to a straight, which seems to be the most problematic in this match here. Yeah, so last year Pakshe won the first and third game in his bronze match, then ultimately lost 2-3. This time he has to play catch up, and let's see whether this is more to his tastes or at least works out better for him. Pakshe is thinking a long time about this curve now, and quite likely it all deals with this situation here. It's not ideal. So maybe he thinks about this indirect construction or this one, hoping to draw a straight later, and I actually would like that option more than this one, or of course this one that gets blocked way too easily or restricted. So yeah, he goes for this. I think that is a choice. The Sportr with another monastery here. Maybe this one, but it is iffy due to this one. I mean, actually restricting this square down to come on, really? That's just great, and it's even the shieldless one. Yeah, great predictive skills here by your host. That is just annoying. Is exactly what I wanted to say, and yeah, pretty convinced he'll go for this. Might even drop the farmer just to rub it in. Yeah, not going for the cap, of course, because that might get restricted down and entangled with the monastery, so he just takes the farm, hoping to draw another cap later. And he doesn't even need to go for the kill here. Just restricting these 3 meeples to the one and only horse is so devastating to yellow's position. I think we'll see this one even now. He will just sacrifice this meeple to kill that one. Oh, he doesn't. That is interesting. Oh, what a shame. Actually, what a shame that the horse drops in yellow's lap, and it is even 2 moves after this restriction. I mean, that is just lucky. Actually closes the city at the bottom, restricting yellows. Now this one gets crushed. At least yellow's one is dead as well. Yeah, so what do you do if you're Pakshe now? Well, one option is, of course, to expand your field. Easier said than done now, as it's, well, killed on the top left. There are no easy continuations next to your monastery as well. So there's the right side, top right corner. And the other option, of course, is this city. Now, pretty sure he thinks whether he should do something about Yellow City at the bottom, maybe trying to equalize or restrict this closing square. It's not the ideal piece to take the city now. Right here, nah, not great at all. So we'll see what he opts for. Okay, without a meeple. I think that's fine, even. He could go for this one, but that would still leave 4 caps to Yellow City to close it. And so if he takes it, I think he'll use the right side, hoping for a more threatening restriction. Like, for example, an extender, but that goes to yellow. If it weren't for this square, Sportr could employ this option to wall off the field on the right side. But of course, he doesn't want to create problems for the city, and therefore he opts to take the bigger one here. And in his case, this seems to be fine, because even if that might get restricted to a starting tile later, for one, there are still all 3 in the deck. And it's not that he would lose 2 meeples on that square, which would have been the case if Pakshe had taken that and had gotten restricted to the square. And also, he at least has a better shot at getting this monastery liberated. This one, though, okay. I mean, there aren't a lot of Doritos left. There are easy options to restrict this from the top, and he needs Doritos elsewhere. So using this as a ruin or treating it like a ruin might even be the right decision. Okay, so restricts this to the 3 road Doritos, as there were only 2 cows left. But I don't think that is the right choice here. I mean, why not just wait? Even if Pakshe restricts this, yeah, sure, you lose this to the same city, but at least it would work. Whereas now, it was, of course, unavoidable that Pakshe would attack this immediately with every tile that would work. Maybe even with a straight. I mean, sure, normally not the prime tile to attack a situation like that, but when there are only 3 left, who knows? For now, yellow was able to indirectly defend, but the situation is tricky for them. There are still tiles for Pakshe to kill this, and more than for yellow to get their meeples saved. And yes, what Globia mentions, the quad one place up top takes away, for one, this option to restrict the city this way. Sure, the same would happen from the bottom, but it also would have restricted the field quite severely. It doesn't matter though, as yellow just in time drew a road Dorito, and it even was the shielded one out of the 3, supplying 2 more points to their score. And after Pakshe just saved his road with the penultimate starting tile, now there is only 1 left to get this meeple back. So definitely not the luckier player in this one. I mean, he had the vanillas, he had the 2 cows, he had a field Dorito, and of course just outdrawing yellow as well. Yeah, and all these subtleties, like this placement here. Sure, it's always here. It's always here, just to take away this spot from blue, or leaving only a select few tiles for blue to go for this threat. I'm so glad I don't have to play today. That would have been a train wreck. Yellow attacks blue's field. And why not? They have the meeples in hand. And basically the field is Pakshe's best hope. So yeah, definitely a good choice to go there, while also restricting Pakshe's. Is it his biggest threat? Might be. At least it's a big threat. City here. Although I think the reason he took that is just that it was an open cap. By the way, One thing I did not mention is this city here is dead now. Pakshe drew the remaining daggers. Well, there's still a chance, and he acknowledges this chance by supplying this cap to his city. So he has now two options, that is drawing the Dorito, or a Dorito rather, and the vanilla, or one of the caps to go there, but both these options should be killed now by yellow because there is no dagger left. Finally, another Dorito. Yes, sure, that's the Dorito with a monk on it. Another monastery for blue. And of course, he goes for it immediately. He has to draw a curve, starting tile, stuff over there, vanilla, Dorito to complete at least the one monastery. Yeah, yellow counts and counts and counts, and in the end, it's this move, or maybe that. I don't care actually. Maybe they think whether they'll use this. Don't think they should meeple the cap. At least they don't need to currently, but maybe it would have been even more precise to do so nonetheless, just to take away options from blue where they get the vanilla later after getting a meeple back. And for now, yellow opts to keep both meeples in hand. That is totally fine. I mean, they could even go here and attack the field this way, so that with the starting tile, blue would get a meeple back, yes, and score a few points, but also lose the field. Oh, it was blue's turn, of course. Then that is the better choice here. Just taking away some options from yellow, like this one, for example, executing exactly this move. Yeah, what Glovier says. Indirect defense, no questions asked. But Ricardo draws one of the only two remaining tiles to liberate this monastery. Finally, Pakshe gets his road closed and the meeple back, supplying a third meeple to yellow. And yellow will now invest in these meeples, although the road Dorito is one of the definitely not ideal tiles. Could opt for the kill. I think that would be okay. Scoring 3 points, 4 minus 1. Taking away the option from Pakshe to claiming the ruin and scoring 6 points with the vanilla. And by the way, that's another reason why leaving this cap empty, I think, might have been fine, although there's still the rose. Yeah, but the rose could score 4 points here as well, so let's see. Yeah, there is the envisioned field attack. So, well, if Pakshe is precise, he should now take this cap and leave this one to be taken later with the starting tile, as he won't use the starting tile here. Or he might need to take this one and hope for the vanilla, as he's down 7 and only has the one meeple in hand. Or would he use the vanilla here for 6? I don't know. So He takes this one, keeps this option open, also creates a possible loop, which yellow will now snap. Should snap, at least, I think. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, blue needs the quick points, so taking away this option from blue is a good choice, and there are still recurves, a road burrito, and a crossroads left to close that road, so it's basically 100% shot to close that, not accounting for any blocks, but blue doesn't have the time to block it. So yeah, yellow has to go for it, I think. Okay. No, 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 surely not. Surely not. Definitely not. Definitely not. If yellow loses this game, it's because of this move. Sure, there's still a starting tile, but I mean, Pakshe has to go for it. Yeah. To answer Glovia's question, and this is the ill-advised hope to get a curve and take over the city for 12 points, but that is definitely not what you should go for if you have, for one, the meeple advantage and the advantage on the virtual scoreboard and already a 50-50 shot at connecting here. Although that 50-50 shot might get, of course, killed with this one. But if that were the case, then you'd get another shot at attacking the field via the road monastery. So blue finally gets the monk back to the bench. But now they have to deal with this threat here, and there's still a curve left. And even if that curve does not happen, it's tough. Pakshe could use that one, but then there's still the road monastery and there's still the starting tile. So I don't even know how to deal with this situation. Looks like he has to go for it exactly this way. He has to attack the field himself. And he has a shot. This here would work. And at least if yellow were to get the curve, he'd still have the road monastery. And if yellow gets the starting tile, well, at least he has the curve. The problem in all these cases is yellow would get the road. So I'm not sure that there is a win still available for Pakshe. But he gets the crossroads. So basically, looks like this was the only tile for yellow that was really problematic. Okay, now this connection is dead. This is the last curve. This won't happen as well. But the problem is yellow is down by 2 points. So sure, they could take the 6-point field now, but then blue has either the 6 points for the monastery or 5 points for this ruin. Oh no, the 6 points for the monastery don't work because then yellow gets the starting tile and just wins the game. So we have to only account for the permutation where blue gets the starting tile. And therefore, what? No, surely not. This is only a 4-point move. Why would you ever do that? Why would you ever do this? The one thing I wanted to say is we might need to build up a monastery square to then use the monastery here for 7, because blue would take the 6 points with the starting tile. But even that is, in comparison to taking the road up top 3 points, would still lose Sportr the game once this corrects. So that would be 89 to 90 from Sportr's vantage point. Yeah, so if my voice still works after the 5th game, we'll take a closer look at this one for sure. I think Pakshe's Dorito move was spot on. Great find. With the monastery by yellow, I'm not 100% sure, but we'll start from there. I'm pretty sure Glovia's right, but we'll see. Yeah. By the way, Jillhammer, if you'd like to come on as co-host, just say the word. Might be nerves. I haven't taken a look at the clock of Ricardo actually, so, but I'm pretty sure he still had time left to figure stuff out, and there was no need to rush moves. At least not clock-induced need. Maybe he has an appointment later today or something. I don't know. I mean, in the end, it's just, in air quotes, of course, a bronze medal, but still, we'd rather take down the 3rd than the 4th place after this very, very long season, which for him started at the end of November. It's fine, it's fine. Yeah, well, Sportr had enough time left to at least think about his moves. Let's say maybe even a minute per move more than he did. Should have ended with roughly 2 minutes on the clock in the end. Yeah, so not exactly perfect play by both of them, although all through this match here. But at least interesting content. And don't get me wrong, it's high-level play nonetheless. But this situation here, this mushy middle is more or less announcing huge problems for yellow down the road. I mean, sure, with the right draws, starting tile, road monastery, that could change rather quickly, and it is, of course, as long as these tiles remain in the deck, still salvageable, but it's just not that likely to happen. On the other hand, splitter here, penultimate starting tile for yellow, and then the city by blue has a pretty significant problem. I mean, I shouldn't even mention stuff like that, I think, else someone will pull me to the court of Carcassonne and threaten to accuse me of jinxing them. So the splitter happens, but Pakshe at least gets one starting tile. Yellow immediately attacks this city, of course, also supplying to road and to this possible road, but with only one left to fill the square. We'll see. Yeah, sure, take the road. I mean, else this would happen, and this would be restricted to 2 daggers. But yeah, I see, I know folks would definitely go for the monastery there, with 2 daggers still in the deck. I mean, it would have somehow worked. Also giving points to blue, not ideal. Nay, nah, not ideal. I mean, that is an understatement. This would restrict these two to the one and only remaining dagger, so couldn't even use the dagger there, unless blue had restricted that earlier. So maybe taking the monastery here would be reckless. Whatever. Should work out fine for yellow. The one thing I don't like is the city is in the vicinity. The monastery is here, so, well, the most likely outcome is yellow has to wait to close their city, or at least use this square first, then hope to get a road end and not get restricted to stuff like that. So not great. On the other hand, leaving the road open there, not great either, but with many road ends already done and another 3-point road available, at least for crossroads, I think it would have even been okay to leave the road empty, just to keep the second meeple in hand. They might need it. Definitely not easy to get a meeple back here for yellow. The first one should be the city. Maybe he even thinks about stuff like that, which wouldn't go for. I mean, situation ain't desperate enough yet. So he restricts this. Yeah, that seems fine. Blue could take it, would supply a prime opportunity to kill this square for good. Also create a field, which this position at this point in time definitely is in blue's interest. They are the side which quite likely will have the meeple advantage. And long term, the one problem with this restriction is that the road here could be restricted to the same dagger, and there's only one left. So only one of these meeples would get out alive at best. He opts for this one. I like it. I like it. And that is a very, very crucial curve for Pakshe. Yeah, sure, it saves the monastery, but there are now two specific tiles yellow needs to close the city. Although, now let's not talk about the city. I mean, it's so unlikely to get closed. So just saving the monastery, creating this 8-point threat is worth it alone. Yeah, yellow with no meeple in hand. No easy options to get a meeple back. Opts to take the road back, even though blue then quite likely will either restrict or attack the city. Doesn't go for it. Okay, rolls the dice. Hopes to restrict this one down to whatever, starting tile or horse. Okay, yellow protects the city. Yeah, seems fine. Still all daggers out there, still the rose possible. The problem for yellow though is that with any of the 5 vanillas or with a field Dorito, blue will attack their city. Oh, I didn't compliment yellow on this move. Nice option to restrict this city here. Although I would have liked it on the left side just to try and restrict it even more into the road and yeah, I think that would have been better. Starting tile, good news for yellow, but the city will get killed and the other one gets restricted to the one and only remaining rose. So again, it does not look great for Sportr, but there's good news for him though. There aren't a lot of tiles to connect here, and there is even a splitter left. So I think no. I would have liked this one. Just pressuring this square here, and in some cases threatening the splitter move. Also taking away the road Dorito and horse, which after Sportr drawing the Dorito were the only connecting tiles. And now this is equalized. This city is dead. Virtue of Pakshe drawing the remaining rows. And this here is almost dead. There is only one dagger left. And I mean, with all these curves out there, with a lot of other tiles to restrict this down to Dorito, I don't like this move. Not back then, not in retrospect. But it works. So bottom line, he got the remaining dagger. Blue city, yellow's monastery are killed. Yellow has the second meeple in hand. But they still are trailing by 3 points on the overall scoreboard. Yeah, Pakshe, closing that. Sure. The problem is it creates a 9-point field, which yellow pretty likely will take now. But of course, it's still attackable. And in some cases, actually doesn't even need to attack it. Might be sufficient for him. Just score these points and then take a 6-point field on the left side. This is the last chance basically to attack, but it would be a very, very bad move. This gets killed so easily or restricted down one tile to get your meeple back that not going for the attack was the correct choice. Just take the quick points, even create this juicy situation to score 5 points later. And now it's Pakshe's game. Yellow hasn't any threats left except for padding this field. But the score is tight and blue has the meeple advantage. So it will come down to drawing these caps for yellow. They need to get vanilla, preferably, of course, the splitter before blue gets it. And blue needs to find ways to use their meeple advantage. So they might, after all, attack this field. It's not late in the game enough to go for immediate most point moves like snatching a 5-point road or stuff. It's just, to me, right now, a question whether you go for this one or this option. That can't be blocked. So I think that should be it. This one here could get blocked, only with caps though, but still. So looks like this one, yeah, and that is what he's going for. But the 4 points for this cap drop into yellow's hands. I'm not sure what he's thinking about. Maybe this one? Restricting this connection? I don't think that is the move. I think you just have to hope to score quick points. These 4 would start it. Then there's still the quad crossroads left. After the quad crossroads, there would be the road monastery to score another 3 for the road. I think that is the way to go here. Or, I mean, use the monastery elsewhere, depending on when you happen to draw this. And if you don't score these 4 points, well, your opponent might. So if any one of you sees something else which yellow should do, please chime in, but I don't. Pakshe connects, of course, he does. When got a chance. He's at +4. He is the starting player. Let's see. Maybe it's time for yellow to set up stuff like that, hoping to snatch the road while also adding 1 and 2 points to the monastery. Are we desperate? I think so. I mean, there's still the splitter out there, which is a 5-point move for blue, and then we would be down -9. And the only option, no, 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 no. The only option to counter -9 is the field, and this does not work for me. This does not work. Not with 3 road ends left. I think at some point you have to risk stuff, and to me the curve was this point. From here on out, I don't really see an option for yellow to go for the win here. I mean, one thing is setting up the splitter here on the right side or over here. Right side would have the benefit or problem, depending on what you which point in time it would hit, that it would also create a 6-point field. So it's either a 7-point move for yellow or a 5-point move for yellow, but then a 6-point move for blue. Yeah, look at that. There is the road monastery, and this road setup would have worked. Sure, it was more likely to work for blue. But still, I think in a situation like that with, what was it, 9 tiles remaining, I think going for 35% chance to take the road for a total of 7 points when you're down -4. Yeah, is what it is. But now yellow is down only 2. They still have this 4-point threat, which Pakshe tries to take away. And now yellow has a question to answer, and that is, do we take the monastery for 5 points somewhere? Or do we just take 2 points? And also, why do you go there? I mean, then there is no place to use the horse later. Why don't you add the cap on the right side? Is this just due to the splitter later for 4 points? Might be. 2 points for yellow, 2 points for blue. 4-point road for yellow isn't available anymore. There's no curvy left. Okay. This here does not matter because there was always gonna be a road end available to score the 2 points. So yellow might do that, but will they win? Well, they need to get the splitter for 4 points, but Pakshe could take that option away from them, although that does not work for Pakshe. That does not work, because then yellow just claims 3 points here. So I think Sportr will just win. Unless Pakshe gets the splitter, I think. Yeah, Seems like it, because he could, of course, score 4 points with the road. If Sportr gets the splitter. But 4 points would result in a tie for Pakshe, so that's not enough. If he takes away this option, then Sportr would claim 3 points somewhere with the splitter. And Pakshe could only get 3 with the road over here or there, or with the field for that matter. Doesn't matter. But that would result in a tie, so Pakshe needs the splitter over here. Yeah, I think that is his only winning chance. I don't see a way to take away this 4-point move. I mean, except for this one, of course, but and score points. That does not work with the straight. Yeah, so it's down to the splitter, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. And he goes for the road. But in the case where Sportr gets the splitter, it does not matter. So this will end in a tie, and the tie goes to the second player, which is Sportr. So a fitting end, actually, to this match. That were definitely great games. Yeah, so in the end, it came down to drawing the crucial tiles. There were 4 crucial tiles left. These 3 road ends and the splitter. 3 of them fell to yellow. Yeah, that is basically the story of this end game. So yellow did not risk this road. Again, I still don't like it. But then just outdrew the tie. If any of these 3 tiles gets into blue's hand, blue wins. I think that should be correct. Might take a look later. So I just need a quick break. I'll be back in a minute. So, yeah, Natpira, you're right. So sad. And what an annoying end for Pakshe. I mean, 7 tiles left, 4 of them with well, some impact, a lot of impact, and he only gets 1 of them. That is just shoddy luck, but that is Carcassonne. Sometimes stuff like that just happens. And overall, take a look at this here. 12 out of 17 roads, so straights and curves. Rather seldomly a recipe for success. Yeah, and what Kaika mentions is exactly what I mentioned earlier, as is usually the case with Kaika. Sorry. Using the cap here still leaves this 4-pointer available. Hey Ricardo, hey Pakshe. Congratulations to both of you first to having played a great match. A match worthy of a CCL bronze medal. Definitely a great one. Not 100% precise, sure, but there were a lot of interesting decisions and a lot of close end games. I'm even though I should have actually recuperated from yesterday's 5-hour onslaught. I'm still glad I covered this one today. So congratulations to Ricardo for getting bronze. Congratulations still to Pakshe, aka Ritichai, for reaching the semifinals in consecutive years. I mean, there's always next year, man. We'll see. Yeah. What did I talk about? Yeah. I mean, in this one, it's clear cut. Yellow just had more luck in the end game. I don't think there are no two opinions about that. But the other ones, I think they were totally fine. Yeah. Would any one of you two specifically like to analyze one of the end games? I've got a few points marked down here, so if you don't have specific situations, I'll just would start in the first one. But if one of you only has a few minutes left, I don't know, we could start with another one as well. And all this said, if my voice breaks completely, I'll cut it anyway. But just let me know. I'll just take another sip of water. Okay, no takers. Then let's start with game one. And a move by Pakshe, which I didn't really like. And that was the decision with the cow, where we're talking about the defense of the big city. And that is this one here. It's a close game, so every point counts. Pakshe goes for +2, giving him a 4-point lead over Ricardo, but not accounting, I think, enough for the specific makeup of the remaining tiles. These Doritos, the splitter doesn't really matter that much, although it does. The splitter would almost kill the city. I mean, there's only then this chance or this one to close it. But the bigger problem actually are these two Doritos and the the remaining horse, which actually would be interesting to see yellow whether they'd use this option or that one, given there's also a twin cap remaining. So the one move I would have liked from blue was this one. Yellow's meeples are basically stuck, except for these two, and both of them would need two very specific tiles, more so the city than the monastery, to get back to yellow's hands. So the temporary tie on the scoreboard after executing this move, I think, would not have been a problem for blue. It's rather unlikely, very unlikely for yellow to close this, maybe even impossible if blue plays against it, although a few points more there would hurt blue's position. But blue could still play against the monastery with the straight even kill it immediately, with a curve killing it immediately. So I don't see going for this move as the superior approach. This one here also leaves the dagger for the win for blue, and yellow can't really do anything about it except for adding city pieces to either there or blue city. And sure, they'd choose theirs, even though if that might render this ruin, just to have a shot at killing this. But overall, question to Pakshe: did you consider this move? And if so, why did you in the end opt for this one? I mean, to me, it looks like this year would have increased blue's winning chances by quite a lot. With this one, I'm not so sure. Although there are still the Doritos. But with these two extenders here, I'm really not confident that this is better. So option 1 is better than option 2. Okay, so that really is Pakshe. So he did consider it, and Ricardo, that is a Sportr, expected move 2. Yeah. See whether there comes more or not. Yeah, Ricardo, I think you're right. This was almost lost. I mean, you happened to draw one of two tiles that still gave you a good shot, at least. Or maybe 3. The twin caps would have worked, but to a lesser degree than happening to draw the dagger or the rotorito. On the other hand, there is one thing. Looks like Pakshe isn't in a talking mood. If we go back a few moves, this one here for yellow would have killed the city. Then at -9, with a second meeple in hand, blue not being able to get any meeple back except for the road meeple with the remaining dagger. That at least would have been a consideration. I mean, sure, there's the 7-pointer on the left. But yeah, it would have been, I think, pretty tricky to pull this kill with this specific tile. I mean, there's still this one to kill it. So, or one of the daggers later. But given the meeple situation, it might have been worth it. I mean, I totally get this. I quite likely would have played the same move, but at least it was a consideration. Yeah, of course you preferred 7 points. Sure. I mean, there are still 3 tiles to go here to kill the city immediately, so why not? And even if not, well, one of the 2 remaining cows would create huge problems for that one as well, so I get it. Basically, Pakshe would need to draw either the dagger, which is what happened in the game, or the rotary to, or maybe this one, maybe that. So this, I'm not sure, but I mean, still 2 daggers to close it. Definitely interesting. Okay, then, not sure if Pakshe is still there, but game 2, the rose move early on. Yeah, this decision by Pakshe. I mean, I've talked about it earlier, but now that he's present, let's just talk about it again. Going here should always be the preferred move, creating the evil hamster. Sure, city could get restricted on the left side, but that is exactly the same situation if you go there, except that you even have this 3-point road, which you might need to leave with 4 crossroads being gone already. So that move, even from that standpoint, is, I think, better. And yeah, sure, yellow might draw the monastery, but well, for them it's 8 points, for you it's 10 points. And also, even if they get the 8 points, you get the meeple back. So I think that should be the preference. Game 3, I don't know about. Didn't have written anything down about it. Let's check. Yeah, basically that was not drawing a straight, and Pakshe coming back with these monasteries and the city here also. Yeah, I mean, pulling off this attack by yellow, I don't think that was or would have been a great option. Just too many killing tiles available, and you still have the open caps here. There's still the 6-point field. There's the straight. In some cases you might even drop armor. So yeah, not going for this works. Yeah, the one thing I didn't like, curve before. Are you talking about this game? Let's check. Okay, which curve are we talking about? I mean, this was a great move, but that was pretty early, or middle game. The last curve for yellow was this one. Let's check. Else, just help me. Only 2 charges. Left or 2 charges on the board? This one. So that move by Pakshe, I think. That was early on. Yeah, the one thing I mentioned, Otto mentioned rather, and then I just replicated. This move by Pakshe going here would have been quite likely the better option, at least the safer one. Yeah. So first curve, and I think the next one will be used to restrict the monasteries, which definitely was a great choice. Now I see this position. I think that move for yellow at least could have been considered, else maybe this one. Even if this creates a problem here. Yeah. But at least it takes away on this, which happened later. Are we talking about this, Ricardo? You just have to tell me a move number, else I don't know. Or use full sentences or stuff like that. Okay. Let me just wait. Okay, when he created the 2 churches on the right. Okay. So first monastery for Pakshe on the right. Second one incoming. Some would place it here, but again, restricting the city isn't a great option. Going here, well, not easily pulled off, but he's down, he needs points. We went for it. And now, this curve. So we're talking about this move, quite likely. Is this it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Seems like a good idea. For one, you take away the road. Yes. The monastery. Both monasteries, of course, are already gone. Also, you basically freeze the city. As well, blue, of course, could close this with one of many city caps, but then this would get pretty likely killed. So yeah, sacrificing 2 points and no 3 points even, because else I think you did use it in the end over here, creating this monastery spot. Yeah, but I see this, leaving only 3 options, putting this city meeple in stasis. Yeah, would have definitely been an interesting idea. And also, of course, you could, with a few specific tiles, even threaten to kill these 3 meeples. So yeah, to me, definitely would have made sense. Even at the cost of 3 points. I mean, you are at +8 anyway, so Would have worked. But, of course, there's a but. The but is Pakshe got a curve on, or already had a curve in hand at this point in time. So yeah, it would not have worked. Nonetheless, with 3 curves left out of 31 tiles, I think it would have been worth the shot. Okay, then let's get back to the end game here. Because there's one move which I don't think was the correct choice by Ricardo. And it is closing the Dorito city. Not sure if there was still any chance to win this game, but I think at -14, scoring 5 for the city, -3 for blue, so just 2 points, and getting a meeple back just does not cut it. I mean, 4 tiles remaining, so only 2 moves left. Let's check whether the best permutation for yellow even would have worked. So the thing I suggested was closing the city for 6, then closing this one for 2, plus a meeple to take over the field with the remaining curve. But that is only 9. So that's 11 plus 6, that's 17 at -14. Okay, no, it won't work because either Pakshe kills this or equalizes this or does something else, so it does not matter. Okay. But might have been more precise, even though the game was lost at this point. And therefore, maybe this even was a mistake. So let's skip to that move. So -11. There is still 1 tile to connect here, but the city is only at 7. So even if you were to use stuff like this one and, well, actually getting the straight, which couldn't block, to connect, that is not enough. But one thing that might work is this one. There are still enough caps to close both cities, and there's only the rotary to daggers and curves to claim this field. So maybe there's a permutation where you could close these cities and even claim the field, or claim a 6-point field here. I think that is what you have to go for. But the problem is there are 7 tiles and 4 are caps, so Pakshe will at least get one for 7 points, and then you're down -18. And so basically the worst permutation for Pakshe would be getting a straight, you getting a cap, Pakshe getting a curve, you getting another cap, Pakshe getting the Dorito, another cap, and then the remaining cap to Pakshe. So he could not really do a lot with these roads, but could extend the city here. I don't know. So it's figuring this one in at least minus 18, maybe minus 22. So let's take a look at this situation. Actually, let's use the shielded Dorito. So that's 8 points for yellow, 3 points for the city on the right, 6 points for the top field, 6 points for the bottom field. That's 23. And that is basically it, because you only have, you have another move left, and maybe you might be able to get another 6 points somewhere. That's 29 against Pakshe's 18. 22, and he still has the meeples, so 28, 27. Yeah. So, bottom line, there might be a permutation left to win this game for yellow if they had gone for this one. Maybe the same is true for this here. This has the added benefit of creating a 9-point field, which might even be better. So therefore, I think even though Pakshe definitely would score the 7 points, this might have been the way to go. And one thing I totally forgot, this is what happened, not with this type, but I think with one of the daggers. Pakshe claimed 5 points here, so the curve would at least give him 5 points. So even this wonderful sequence for yellow here might not be enough. But I'm pretty convinced if there's still a win here for yellow, it would be looking like this one. Okay, game 4. The most crucial endgame of them all. Oh, sorry. Oh, right. So this one, for one, just bathe in the greatness of this move here. I mean, it's just so beautiful, knowing full well that curve wins yellow the game, starting tile wins yellow the game. So he has to do something about it, and he finds the perfect move. That is not easy, mind you. So at this point, what do we have to do as yellow? Do we have to save our curve connection here? Which could be done directly, leading to a situation where blue could use the curve to take the field. Indirectly, leading to this situation where blue could use the curve to win the field? So the answer is no. We can't do. We shouldn't do anything about it. We can't really do anything about it. But what else is there? What, if we are yellow, do we have to do here? Well, it seems like indeed we need to score the 3 points. Because in case blue gets this one, we still have the starting tile, but then blue has the curve to win the game. So you know what? I'll do a video about this situation because I'm afraid I'm not fit enough to really analyze this right now with all it deserves. And same might go for game 5 as well. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around until the end. I just put this on my pile of, I mean, I are already 30 videos to shoot in the coming weeks and months, so it might take a while, but we'll see. Just too much for me now. Thanks, guys. I see you quite likely on Friday for the Champions League finals between Nallerheim and Irving G. Bye-bye.